Mhm.
I didn't know that Kobe Bryant he has like a large influence in China.
Really?
Yeah, he kind of served as, the ambassador to China for the NBA.
Hmm.
He launched the Chinese Fund for Education and Sports there,
Right.
and he's kind of considered the first person in the NBA to see China as the growing market that it is for basketball.
Right. Yeah.
And outside of China, in America, he has investments in video game companies. I didn't even know
Really?
that.
Wow.
And the drink Body Armor.
Yeah.
It's a sports drink. It's kind of
Right,
big.
yeah.
I see it.
I see it.
I see it in like convenience stores and whatever. He actually invested in Body Armor
Wow.
when it was only making 10 million in sales, and now it's making 400 million in sales. So I didn't know I knew he was a basketball player. I knew that side of him, but I didn't know he was, this savvy, the savvy businessman side of him.
Right. Yeah. I mean, both Dylan and I, we didn't really like grow up watching basketball. I mean, I watch basketball every now and then. I know about some of the bigger stars, and I know a lot of news has been talking about how Kobe was as a basketball player, but what I kind of really wanted to focus on is him as kind of like a mentor and kind of his philosophy, the Mamba mentality as is. So everyone knows about his book, The Mamba Mentality, but his drive and his his desire to work hard is something that we want to really work on, especially in this podcast. It's all about self-improvement and not being stagnant. He was someone that would, apparently in high school, he would start workouts at 5 a.m.
Wow.
And then ended at 7 a.m. to go to high school. Like, that's nuts.
Extreme.
He would be playing bench warmers in 0 to 100 games, first to 100 games. And he would just work super hard.
Yeah, that's a guy, not only is he dedicated,
right,
but he's that's a guy who just has a lot of confidence in himself. I mean, you don't spend that much time. You don't wake up at 5 a.m. Every day if you don't have confidence that you're going to succeed in doing what you're doing.
Right, yeah. Self-drive is really important. I mean, it leads to a lot of success. I mean, Kobe, for example, should be he was the closest to getting to Michael Jordan's work ethic. Both of those are the best superstars that the basketball or the NBA has ever seen. I think that's something that we should all aspire to be, hard workers in whatever you're doing, whether it be basketball or accounting for that matter. Always working hard at what you want to do, right?
Yeah.
So on that same note, I wanted to discuss because he's such a motivation for a lot of people, right? I want to talk about quotes he said. So my favorite quote he said was, "Everything negative, pressure, challenges is all an opportunity for me to rise." I mean, what that means to me is kind of like when you're at a situation where you want to give up, kind of just want to relax and say, you know what, I give up. Like a lot of people that we know.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that really resonates with me because I feel like, a lot of people put themselves in that situation where they just give up. And I feel like
they'll see themselves in a bad spot and then that's kind of it.
Exactly. And I mean, that I think is what makes the difference between second place and first place.
Mm-hmm.
The idea where, well, when something happens, it's just a bump in the road. Do not think like this is the dead end.
Right. I mean, Kobe, he shares the same thing with a lot of other athletes where they talk about overcoming failure, right?
Yeah, and I mean, I think I read a story about when he went to some basketball camp, right?
Mm-hmm.
He scored 0 points the entire summer.
Yeah.
And that kind of
it would have been so easy for him just to say, all right, I'm not good at it.
I guess basketball is not what I want to do.
He'll go into computer science.
Or business or whatever. But instead, no. He devoted most of his time to, okay, let me work harder at it.
Mm-hmm.
He became like the greatest basketball player ever. And I think, some people that we know just kind of like, when something hits and, they get down and sad about it, they just give up.
Yeah. When he talked about how negativity creates opportunities, maybe this might be a stretch, but I kind of thought about it investing wise.
Right.
How, the best investment opportunities come when people are negative about a company. And, an investor will come and they'll see the good parts of it and, try to prove everyone wrong.
Right. I guess that's like I guess that's definitely not what he meant by it.
No, it might be. It might be. I don't know.
It's not a stock.
What do you mean? Body armor drinks.
Okay, fine.
Yep, 100%.
But I think what he mostly talked about is, and I kind of mentioned this in other podcasts, it's kind of like when you see something that happens and goes wrong, you don't think of it as an issue and something to complain about. Mm-hmm. Think about it as an opportunity for improvement.
Yeah.
How can I better myself? Because, and what I say is, improving yourself is hard in a sense where sometimes it's like, am I willing to work for it? Or sometimes you can't even identify what you need to work on. Sometimes it's like, oh, I can't do this, this, and this. You're not explaining why. But if you're able to answer that question and say, this is what my issue is, what negativity do I have in my life? That's something you can work on. It's an opportunity to improve yourself.
So that was a pretty good Kobe quote.
Yeah. So
mine's kind of related.
Right.
My Kobe quote is, I realized that intimidation didn't really exist if you're in the right frame of mind. And I really like this quote. I picked this quote because I think he's 100% right. I mean, intimidation isn't real. It's just a feeling that, for whatever reason, we put on ourselves. It's right. Kind of like, it kind of imprisons us from doing things that are consequential, big improvements, right?
Right. Yeah, so, what I was thinking more so is kind of like intimidation in the sense where, when something something's going to happen, right? Whether it's you're about to take a really cold shower, or you see that really hot pepper and you're like, your heart rate starts to build up and everything. Or before you go on a zip line, for example, your heart rate starts to, and then you do that thing. Everything
you get that feeling.
You get that feeling.
The moment you do it, that roller coasters, you were saying, you're kind of scared.
Yeah.
Waiting in line, then you do it, and then you're like, oh, I could easily do that again. What was I scared of?
Exactly. So that's just kind of thinking it's just overcoming that fear.
Yeah.
And I think when you get that done, everything is just kind of easy.
Mm-hmm. So and you think of one thing I kind of thought is intimidation.
Yeah.
Think of the people that make sacrifices to start their own business.
Yeah.
That leave their full-time, well-paying job to start their own thing.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of intimidation that must be going through their mind there, but they have to have the right state. They have to get themselves in the right state of mind where they have the confidence in themselves.
Right.
They have to get their own strategy going to overcome that.
Yeah, I think any significant change in life you're gonna be intimidated.
Mm-hmm.
The first day of college, you know how intimidated I was.
Yep, and now it's a joke.
Now it's easy. I'm like, I get to see my friends all the time. I get to, go to classes, talk to professors.
Yeah, I used to be kind of scared of, meeting the professors. I've heard so much about how strict they are from high school.
Right.
And now all the professors kind of seem goofy to me. They all have their weird quirks.
Yeah, I know.
And it's laid back.
A lot of them are more laid back.
Yeah.
So, we're witnessing that kind of intimidation.
We're constantly.
Yeah, especially because we're in that kind of moment in life where nothing is the same. Literally every couple months it's something new.
Mm-hmm.
This podcast.
Yep.
College, moving on from it, leaving old friends, making new friends. Something that's really exciting.
Mm-hmm.
I think
the worst thing I think you can do is not challenge that intimidation feeling and just remain the same. Mm-hmm. It can be scary to do sometimes.
Of course,
I get it.
And the anxiety from college.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like some people take it with, they're like, okay, let's get it.
Yep.
Right? They push through that anxiety, when, it starts getting harder in life. It's like...
Yeah, we have a friend.
Yeah.
He dropped out from the anxiety of college.
Right.
That's fine and all, but at a certain point, you have to face those feelings of anxiety and intimidation. You have to overcome them.
How are you supposed to get anywhere by, just staying in the basement and playing video games all day?
You can't.
You guys, wake up, get the money, get the bread, right? And I feel like that's definitely what I'm doing right now. I was very intimidated by the fact that, okay, I have all this workload and everything like that. So instead of just quitting my job or, taking a lot less hours off of my day or deciding not to do anything, I'm like, no, I think that I have to start somewhere.
I have a good story.
Yeah, sure.
So when I started at UPS,
Right.
I was intimidated. I was loading trucks, right? So,
Yeah.
I imagined I'm walking in, there'd be all these, real muscular guys in there,
Right.
and I'd be the one weak one.
Yeah.
I walk in and, everyone's kind of the same. They fit my bill.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, just that intimidation is just in our head.
Oh, of course. I mean, yeah. Same thing I'm with when I started working at Best Buy. I was told when I was signing the papers to get the job, I was told like you have to put out $1,000 worth of rev an hour. And in my mind, I was like, that it's just impossible.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna be able to do that. And I mean, if you look at it now, I kind of lead the store a lot of times in like memberships or anything like that. It's because it's just getting over that intimidation.
Yeah, same thing. I mean, at UPS, they have that rule. You have to load 300 packages an hour.
Right.
I was like, what are you talking about? I was loading like 150 an hour when I first got there.
Right.
And then towards the end, I was getting up to like 600.
Jeez.
Yeah. Number one in the warehouse, Raj.
Really?
Yep.
Dang.
I mean, I think yours is a little bit, better to have pride about. Yeah.
Hey, I mean, you gotta take pride.
I guess.
In doing what you do.
I did it.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah. I just want to thank Kobe for that. The mentality, his quotes. It's definitely something that's going to resonate with me as I grow older. Something I definitely want to keep that drive, that Mamba mentality as it is.